Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh here with player props for you guys on a Thursday. Just 4 games that we're looking at. We also have best bets up with some sides totals. I think we mostly have sides, some money lines, got a couple parlays in there for you guys. We do have a total in there. I remembered as well, talking about that Heat and Spurs game. So make sure you check that one out. Bringing both of these to you each and every day now this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your first look. Somebody who, I don't know if you want to call Desmond Bane disappointing necessarily, but you certainly want to call the Orlando offense disappointing so far.
Yeah, work in progress, I think is the nice way to put it. But
nice.
I think it comes together here, at least for Bane, at least for 20 plus tonight. And you're getting good value on it because he's had a rough 4-game stretch here. He's been 4 for 20 from 3 in those last 4, still averaging 16 a game because he's been driving the bucket, second on the team in drives behind Paolo. And Franz is actually the guy who's taking lower usage to accommodate his new teammate. Bane's usage has been about where it was with the Hornets all last season, about 22%.
With the Grizzlies. I know you meant the Grizzlies, but I got to correct you. He wasn't on the Hornets. He was on the Grizzlies.
My bad, because I was going to get right into the splits. Last 3 against the Hornets with the Grizzlies. Averaged just over 20, shot 50% from deep. This is a get-right matchup. Hornets' 4th worst 3-point defense and above the break 3-point defense, which is where Bane is going to be shooting. Not really a corner 3 guy. They allow the 7th most points to shooting guards, 5th most assists overall. And he's going to be a catch and shoot guy. That's what he's brought to Orlando to do. And there's just huge positive regression coming. I mean, he's 12% on catch and shoots this year. This is just absurd. I mean, he was 42% last year. He could even be better than that in the right situation. The Hornets, since losing Brandon Miller, 130 defensive rating. You have Colin Sexton with a 133. LaMelo, the leader of this team, 123. And a lot of times you take on the role of your leader, which is just like, hey, let's get up and down and have fun here. It's going to be fun for Bane, I think, to get on track in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm with it. Like you said, I like that you were looking for the positive regression, as we say, for someone like Bane, where it's like the shots are there, the volume is there. We just got to wait for some of that to fall. You're not going to find a better get-right game than against Charlotte in the NBA with the pace that they play at and the fact that they don't play very much defense. So like this spot for Bane, as you're saying here, and the points, they're at 20 for a reason because the volume has still stayed high, even though he's not necessarily making a ton of shots. But Tre Mann, I think, is in a good spot here. We got him 16.5 PRA. There's going to be some spots that are going to give you some bad juice for 15.5 PRA. But for Tre, like the thing I'm looking at here is Brandon Miller's out. That has meant a lot more con Knipple for sure. But the thing that I think is helping us get an edge here is that he played like, I don't know, it was 20 minutes, 18 minutes in games. In the first 2, we had Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller goes down for the 3rd game. Tre Mann plays that game. He's getting minutes. It's like 12 minutes in the first like half of the game. And then he gets hurt and he leaves the game and he doesn't come back. And then you're like, oh, crap. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, the next game he comes back and he plays 27. And that's where I project his minutes. And that's why I think we have an edge, is because we still, a lot of projections and models or even the books are going to look at the minutes per game and go like, oh, well, even with Brandon Miller out, he only played 12 minutes. And some people are going to miss that that's because he left with an injury. And now we're still getting him at this projection that has him at like 20 minutes because he has been getting this number at 20 minutes, right? And if you give him the 27 that he had last game, which I think he'll be projected for in this one once again, another guy that's relatively blowout proof and like really in 6-man conversations, if he maintains this throughout the season, no one has really stepped up to sort of grab a hold of that. And there's a lot of sort of weirdness around even like AJ Mitchell, 6-man of the year, because J-Dub is going to come back. And how far down the bench does that push AJ Mitchell? So Tre Mann's not getting pushed down the bench, right? And with Brandon Miller out, he's going to get some more minutes with the starting unit towards the end of the game as well, as a do-it-all guy who is at like three rebounds, 3 assists as well, in addition to everything else. So this is a very beatable number. I think with Brandon Miller out, he's going to be at this, like I said, 25 to 27 minutes and at about 18, 19 PRA, almost 20 per game.
Yeah, I mean, just to address the 6-man conversation, will he remain a 6-man when LaMelo eventually sprains his wrist or something?
Please don't do that.
And only plays like 30 games this year.
Yeah.
But Tre against the Magic is a much better matchup than Knipple, right? Because you got to be quick against this oversized, bulky defense. We saw what Maxey did to them a couple nights ago. They have had a lot of trouble with quick guards so far this season. So Tre Mann's gonna be able to produce, I think, in that regard.
Good angle, yeah.
CJ McCollum under 18.5 points and rebounds. You can get expensive 19.5, but the juice continues to be put on here because he's so heavily implied for under 15.5 points, and it's so heavily implied for a blowout here at OKC that people are like doing the math. Like, is he really likely to get 4 or 5 boards? Like, especially against this giant Thunder team? Probably not. I don't know how likely he is to see the floor in the fourth quarter if it's a blowout. I mean, he played 40 minutes 2 nights ago and was kind of, him and Middleton tasked with like trying to close the game out. They just don't got it anymore, man. I mean, he's getting swatted in the paint. He just does not have the same wiggle. Even without Chet, I think OKC can keep him out of the paint. They should be hounding him. Caruso should be at the forefront of that attack, right? I mean, if he's the lead ball handler against OKC, we know this does not go well. They are number 2 so far this year, limiting point guards and scoring. Bilal Coulibaly should also debut tonight. Going to take away some minutes from CJ. I mean, he's only averaging 18.5 points and rebounds per 36 this year. So per 36, and we're not really projecting 36 minutes in this spot. Like, Washington is going to save him. He has a career low 8.7 PER, career low rebounding rate overall 5.7%. And in the 2 roadies that opened the season, 7.5 points per game, 16% usage, 31 minutes. So again, not projecting 36 in this spot.
No, not at all. Now I will say I'm so annoyed by Brian Keefe, like I mentioned a minute ago, that like he plays his start, he's just playing with veterans, and he's got a team full of young guys and like 3 or 4 veterans, and those are the guys getting all of the minutes, even at the end of the game, in a way that I'm like, so you don't want your guys to learn. You want to see if CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton can beat the 76ers in overtime after playing 30 minutes already. Right on. Okay, got it, Brian Keefe. Like, this is your team, your world. I guess you're playing to keep your job or something. Like, if you want to be the future with the franchise, then play the players that are going to be there in 2 years, man. That's kind of how I feel. But he's not doing that. That would be my only fear with CJ. But then it's not even like you have just one angle here. You have the likely blowout. Then you add that to the fact that he hasn't done this at all, right? But for one game, and is not scoring, and that the implied under on the 15.5 is because that's still at the tip of what he's done that once this season. So you have a good look here. The Cole Anthony assist prop. Man, am I annoyed at myself for the last time I played this, because it was at 2.5 for plus money, because I don't know why. It was just wrong, right? We have no KPJ right now, so we have no starting point guard. Ryan Rollins is great. I love Ryan Rollins. Will not speak a bad word about him. He's not a point guard. Okay, let's be very clear. He's not a guy that you're like, here's the ball, Ryan. Go ahead and make sure we set up our offense, get guys in their spots, be vocal, and then have the ball handling skills to just hold it at the top of the key, right? That's Cole Anthony, and that's why he's gotten more minutes since the when KPJ went down. And they're really coming in with him and going, look, we're going to put you in key spots, because as much as we love Gary Trent and AJ Green, they do the same thing. And at times, while we want 2 shooters around Giannis, we're not losing much in the shooting with Cole Anthony. Certainly from those guys, they're amazing. But when you add in the fact that he's going to be the second ball handler on this team, there is nobody else to do that, right? So he's definitely the ball handler for the second unit. And when he's playing with Giannis, if he's playing off of him well enough, then he's going to keep doing that. The reason I'm mad at myself for the assist the other day is because I played it, but then I kept playing it with parlayed with points. And he's actually not taking the shots because he is that ball handler. He has the ball in his hands. And when you're on the floor with Giannis, it's a little different than when he was the backup with the Magic and he's on the floor with Caleb Houston. Love Caleb Houston, but just a name that came into my head, like, okay, well, Cole Anthony's going to do whatever he wants in that situation. Now he's out there with guys that can play around him, where he's expected to be more of a true floor leader than anything. So he's got to mature real quick. And I've seen that, because the potential assists up at 12 in 25 minutes, up at 14 in 27 minutes so far this season. So like he's really looking good. Still has actually run cold on the dimes, more potentials you would expect to turn into assists, other than last game where he had like 9 on 12. So I think Cole's another good one for plus money. This is going to get up to 5.5 by next game.
Yeah, you did a good job convincing me. I was going to say, like, why are we not adding the points here, 10.5, based on what I know about Cole Anthony? I still don't hate adding that. I think he's still probably good for double digits here, because I think the way the Warriors are going to defend Giannis is just going to force a lot more on his shoulders in this particular matchup. As far as like these 4-on-3 situations, like, what are you going to do at this point?
You see him spotting up off of Giannis a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
But yeah, I think that leads to, reading and reacting against the defense, both points and assists being the potential outcome there. I just think he's going to be the second most important player in this particular matchup. Ryan Rollins might cool off a little bit.
Ryan Rollins is amazing, but he's shooting like 90% from everywhere, and I just can't maintain that, with the volume that he has. It's going to come down to earth at some point. If he's open in this game, then Ryan Rollins will keep shooting that thing. I'm sure of it. But this is a spot up game. We know that Kerr has had his defense in the bottom 5 against spot up shooters for the last like 3 seasons. So they're going to pressure the ball. He's going to need to be out there for that reason. The only issue would be if his defense becomes a liability, then he might lose some minutes that way. But I think this is a good bet. We've got a couple good looks in here, and that is all the time we have for you guys. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Continue to follow along. We've got best bets up on that other episode. Until we see you tomorrow, happy betting.